Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki, Sri Ramananda Rai Tirobha Mahamahotsav ki, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jago Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We are reading from chapter 15 of 7th canto. We are beginning today. So this is chapter entitled Instruction for Civilized Human Beings. Okay. So I will read the second verse and its particular meaning and translation purport, and we'll also read the entire summary of the chapter plus the first and second verse. We'll do that. So you can repeat after me. Jnananishthaya deyani kavyani antyam ikshata kavyani anantyam ikshata dave chata 7:15-2 itarebhyo yatharatah ज्ञाननिष्ठाय देयानि गव्यानि आनन्त्यमिच्छता दैवे च तदभावस्यात् इतरेभ्यो यथारतः ज्ञाननिष्ठाय देव्यानि गव्यानि आनन्त्यमिच्छता दैवे च तदभावस्यात् इतरेभ्यो यथारतः
Kavyani anantyam ikshata Deve chatadabhavasya Itarebhyo yathartha.
Yes. Others, please. Somebody? Anyone?
Jnananishthaya deyani kavyani anantyamichata
Kavyani anantyamichata
Daive chatadabhavesha
Deve chatadabhavasya
Itarebhyo yathartha
Itarebhyo yathartha.
Yes, Prabhu.
Jnananishta devyani Kavyani anantyam ikshata Devye satad abhavesya Itrebhyo yathartha.
Jnananishthaya deyani
Jnananishta devyani Kavyani anantyam ikshata
What would meaning translation purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki what would meaning? Jnana Nisthaya to the impersonalist or the transcendentalist desiring to merge into the Supreme. Deyani to be given in charity. Kavyani ingredients offered to the forefathers as oblations. Anantyam liberation from material bondage. Ikshita by a person desiring. Daive the ingredients to be offered to the demigods. Cha also tat abhave in the absence of such advanced transcendentalists. Syat it should be done. Itarebhyah to others. Namely those addicted to fruitive activities. Syat, sorry, yatha, arhata, comparatively or with discrimination. Translation: a person desiring liberation for his forefathers or himself should give charity to a Brahmana who adheres to impersonal monism, Jnana-nishtha. In the absence of such an advanced Brahmana, charity may be given to a Brahmana addicted to fruitive activities, karma-kanda. Can you repeat after me? A person desiring liberation for his forefathers or himself should give charity to a Brahmana who adheres to impersonal monism, Jnana-nishtha. In the absence of such an advanced Brahmana, charity may be given to a Brahmana addicted to fruitive activities, karma-kanda. Purport: there are two processes by which to get free from material bondage. One involves jnana-kanda and karma-kanda, and the other involves upasana-kanda. Vaishnavas never want to merge into the existence of the Supreme. Rather, they want to be everlasting servants of the Lord, to render loving service unto Him. In this verse, the words Anantyam, Ikshita refer to persons who desire to achieve liberation from material bondage and merge into the existence of the Lord. Devotees, however, whose objective is to associate personally with the Lord, have no desire to accept the activities of karma-kanda. Devotees, however, whose objective is to associate personally with the Lord, have no desire to accept the activities of karma-kanda or jnana-kanda. Your pure devotional service is above both karma-kanda and jnana-kanda. Anyabilashita shunyam jnana-karmadi anavritam. In pure devotional service, there is not even a pinch of jnana or karma. Consequently, when Vaishnavas distribute charity, they do not need to find a Brahmana performing the activities of jnana-kanda or karma-kanda. The best example in this regard is provided by Advait Goswami, who after performing the Shraddha ceremony for his father, offered charity to Haridas Thakur. Although it was known to everyone that Haridas Thakur was born in a Mohammedan family, not a Brahmin family, and was not interested in the activities of Jnana-kanda or Karma-kanda. Charity therefore should be given to the first-class transcendentalist, the devotee, because the Shastras recommend Muktanam Abhisiddhanam Narayana Parayanaha Sudurlabha Prashantatma Koteshwapya Mahamani. O great saints, among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one may be a devotee of Lord Narayana or Krishna. Such devotees who are fully peaceful and are extremely rare. Bhagavatam 6.14.5. A Vaishnava is in a higher position than a Jnani, and therefore Advaita Acharya selected Haridas Thakur to be the person to accept his charity. The Supreme Lord also says, Name Bhaktaschatur Vedi Madhbhakta Shapacha Priyaha Tasmai Deyam Tato Grayam Sacha Pujo Yathahyaham. Even though a person is very learned scholar of Sanskrit Vedic literature, he is not accepted as my devotee unless he is pure in devotional service. However, even though a person is born in a family of dog eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy furtive activity or mental speculation. Indeed, all respect should be given to him, and whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotees are as worshipable as I am. Hari Bhakti Vilas 10.1.27. Therefore, even if not born in a Brahmin family, a devotee, because of his devotion to the Lord, is above all kinds of Brahmanas, whether they are Karmakandis or Jnanakandis. In this regard, it may be mentioned that Brahmanas in Vrindavan, who are Karmakandis and Jnanakandis, sometimes decline to accept invitations to our temple because our temple is known as Angarej Ji Temple or Anglican Temple. But in accordance with the evidence given in the Shastra and the examples set by Advaita Acharya, we give prasad to devotees regardless of whether they come from India, Europe, or America. It is the conclusion of the Shastra that instead of feeding many Jnana-kandi or Karma-kandi Brahmanas, it is better to feed a pure Vaishnava, regardless of where he comes from. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.30. Api chet sudaracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasto hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. Thus, it does not matter whether a devotee comes from a Brahmana family or non-Brahmana family. It is, if he is fully devoted to Krishna, he is a sadhu. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishvanamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च मां विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for Krishna Bhaktam Das. And we have a special guest, Prabhu, your name I forgot. Ajay Prabhu and? Ranjana. Okay, so Ajay Prabhu and Mataji. So we welcome both of them. Hare Krishna. They come from Kolkata. And they come every year, I think. Science studying in Boston University. So this chapter we are beginning today in sections for civilized human beings. I will just just to start this, because this verse is actually talking about the glory of a Vaishnava. So recently, there's a devotee, who just became devotee like 6, 7 months before. So I was asking him, Western boy, Xavier Kukum, from many of you know, I was asking that, what gave you faith that Krishna is Surya God? So, so he said that when I attended Mangalarti, and when I saw how I always heard about, I always thought about that God should be given all praises. But when I saw in the Mangalarti how all devotees were so wonderfully, with one heart, they were actually praising the Lord by chanting His holy names. I was convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality God that he was saying. So, so you can see, like, this is the essence of our, entire philosophy, that we can chant and call out Krishna and perform service to Krishna with feeling. Prabhupada says in that Janmashta Shuddha Shrivi, in that verse, he says that the chanting of the holy name requires certain quality. The quality says that one should have the quality of helplessness. No more kings and victor. I say that. So because the devotee when helplessly, depending on the Lord, when he performs service to Him or chants His holy names, so Lord is very much available to that devotee. So, so I was just wondering that how this essence of all scriptures is what Vaishnava is following. Essence of all the scriptures. Like Prabhu says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita purport that highest Vedantist is one who takes pleasure in chanting Hare Krishna. He is the highest Vedantist. So, so this chapter is instruction for civilized human beings. So it has. So in this chapter, Narada Muni continues to describe the path of Grihasthas and conclude the discussion with a summary. And the previous chapter, the superiority of the Brahmana was described. Now Narada Muni describes the gradation among the Brahmanas in different ashramas. So there are different gradations of Brahmanas. There is Karmanishta Brahmana, Taponishta Brahmana, Swadhyaya-nishta Brahmana, and Jnana-nishta Brahmana. Karmanishta Brahmana, the Grihasthas who are devoted to performing rituals. The Karmanishta Brahmanas. Then there are Taponishta Brahmanas, the Vanaprasthas who are devoted to austerity. And there are Swadhyaya-nishta Brahmana, they are Brahmacharis who are devoted to studying and teaching the Vedas. And Jnana-nishta, sannyasis who are devoted to cultivating knowledge and bhakti. So, and as I'm speaking, so the latter is superior to the former in the list like that. And then here is asking about whom to give charity. So a person desiring liberation for oneself or one's ancestors should give charity to a Jnana-nishta Brahmana, that is sannyasi. In the absence, charity may be given to other Brahmanas like Karma-nishta Brahmanas. But rules for devotees, those practicing pure bhakti need not perform karmas like this. They need not find a Jnana Mishra or Karma-nishta Brahmana to give charity. Charity should be given to a devotee of Lord Krishna, even if he is not a Brahmana. One who desires mukti worships Jnanis. One who desires prema worships. Of course, he gives the knowledge of soul to pacify Arjuna, because he has to do the fighting and then because of fighting he has to kill, people like Drona and Bhishma, and that was his major concern. Arjuna gave so many reasons. He gave 5 reasons. He gave compassion for his own relatives, the first one. Then, even if he becomes victorious, he will not be able to enjoy the kingdom. The third reason was fear of sinful reactions. You think that we all will dwell in hell because of killing them, our own family members. Even though they are ancestors, aggressors, still we should not, he was arguing like that, because that will lead to sinful reactions also. Because they are our dear relatives, our gurus and our grandfathers like that. And then he also was thinking that, because if the true elders had, they actually die, then all the family projects, tradition, and everything will be spoiled. And then unwanted progeny will be born because women will be polluted. And that's how the whole society will become disastrous. So social condition will become very disastrous. And it will be unnecessarily so much of chaos like that. And then he became very indecisive. But actually, though Arjuna gave so many reasons, but one of the very pinprick what Arjuna was feeling was, how can he kill his own guru, Dronacharya, and his own grandfather, Bhishma. That was his main pain point actually. Because he gives the argument. He says that Krishna, will you ever kill your own guru, Sandipani Muni? Will you ever kill your own grandfather, Ugrasen? Will you ever do that? No, you are telling me. Because Krishna says, no, give up this petty weakness of heart. No, Klabhyam says, no. From where this, you have become impotent. Degrading impotency has come. So that's what Arjuna was chastised by Krishna. And in response, Arjuna was kind of responding that Krishna, I have no fear of my own death. Actually, Arjuna was not at all fearful of his own death also. He was giving all arguments because of his sense of responsibility. He was trying to actually ascertain what is the dharma. Though he was trying on his own and he couldn't conclude, he couldn't come to the conclusion on his own. But he was actually trying to ascertain dharma. What is my dharma like that? So never you will find entire Gita Krishna, Arjuna is showing his fear of death. Never. Basically, he is trying to be responsible. He is very responsibly thinking. He is very thoughtful. And of course, he was having a conflict between Satya Dharma and Kula Dharma. He was having conflict. And among them, the major thing about Arjuna was that he couldn't think, how can I even give verbal fight to Dronacharya and Bhishma. So what to speak of? Killing them. So that was his main argument actually. And that's why when Krishna says that, from where this weakness, now how you become so weak, gave up this weakness of heart, and degrading impotency has come and all that. So Arjuna feels like misunderstood because he's not having any fear of his own death, and he's not weak on his own concerns, his own some interest. No, he's thinking about others actually, But only thing is he couldn't ascertain exactly what he should do. He was confused completely, and that's why he needed the guidance of Krishna like that. It became open to him. So Krishna, he gives him the knowledge of soul immediately, because the first thing what Krishna is trying to do, Arjuna, is that he's trying to pacify Arjuna. That yes, Arjuna, you have to kill, but please understand that this killing will not actually be so disastrous the way you are thinking, because this body is not all in all, soul exists. so this knowledge of soul he gives, that is to pacify Arjuna actually. But immediately after giving this knowledge of soul, Krishna starts giving now the reason why you should kill. So just by having the knowledge of soul that you're not the body of soul, doesn't mean that you go on killing everyone. That's it's not a license, because I'm not the body, I'm soul, so I'm just going to kill everyone. Like there was one person, serial killer, he would say, Nanam Chandante Shastrani, Nanam Dhati Pauka Thane. He would kill, because you're not the body or soul, just kill. He was trying to give reason to his killing like that. But I'm just following Gita, because Gita says you're not the body or soul, so I can just kill, something like that. But actually, so that was not the reason. Krishna was giving the reason, Krishna giving the knowledge of soul to pacify first. Not that itself is the reason for killing. So now, why he should kill? Why he should do that duty of fighting or killing? Then Krishna starts explaining further. And when Krishna starts explaining, then he gives different levels of reasonings actually. So first he starts with the social perception. Like how Arjuna, even if you don't kill, don't think that people will think that, oh, you're a very great, noble soul, you did not kill, you left the battle because of great compassion. People will perceive you to be a coward. So don't think. So social perception, first he gives a reason. So don't go back to your duty, fight. So first he tells about social perception. It's a very the lowest level, social perception. It says that this kind of talks will be worse than death. Because for Kshatriya, his dignity is very important, like it says. So this kind of insulting words will be worse than death for you, Arjuna. And then he gives further, he gives the karma kanda reason actually. He says that Arjuna, if you fight and kill them, so if you win over, then you'll get the kingdom here, right? The whole kingdom is yours. But if you die somehow in the fighting, because you're fighting for the right cause and doing a duty of Kshatriya, then surely you will attain kingdom of heaven. You will attain heaven. You will go to heaven then, because you have done the right thing. You have performed your duties well. And also he was saying that because they also have lived their life virtuously, Drona and Bhishma, so they will also get better bodies. they also get higher bodies, no? Because now their bodies are won and torn, so now they will get a higher bodies also. So never mind. So that's a karma kanda reason. When you think about it. So Arjuna was first given a lot of soul, but application, what Krishna first level is saying is that you fight where you get this world's some enjoyment, some kingdom, or heavenly enjoyment that way. So see, same way, there are many brahmanas also. They may have understanding that we are not the body, we are soul. Their understanding will be there. But the body still is of prime importance for them many times. So there are many karmakandi brahmanas. So they also know. See, if there is going to heaven, hell, that means that they have understanding of soul. The who's going to heaven and who's going to hell. That means soul is only going, right? But why still there's so much of they're attached to karma kandas and going to the heavenly planets and all that? Because even though they may know that they're not the body, they're soul, but the prime importance for them is body. Pleasure of the body. That's all the prime important. That's why they want something higher. By going to heaven. You getting this point? Like that. So even just understanding that I'm not the body and soul, it's not sufficient. So that's why there are different gradations of Brahma because of their level of understanding. Their level of understanding about the elevation of the personality, like in what is his understanding of the perfection. So they are one category of Brahmas, karma kanda, like that. See, in Christianity they have resurrection. They say resurrection. That is much more like kind of distorted version. So they have the understanding that when the person is buried, so then at the time of annihilation, then the whole body will go and to the heaven. If they have taken shelter of Jesus, they will only go to heaven. So now there is a lot of issues. So now they also have some understanding of Holy Spirit. There's some understanding of Spirit, but the body becomes all the more prominent, because at least the Karmakanda Brahmanas, they have understanding that the body will be different, You'll have some different body. But here, resurrection means the same body only goes. They have that's all understanding they have. From the grave, what's the grave only, right? From the graveyard, from the grave, then the person will be resurrected and go to the heaven. That's what they have understanding. So but there is a lot of problems with this understanding actually, because let's say somebody dies at the age of 75. That means he's going to be there eternally, in that 75. I will be like that. That can be. And suppose somebody died as a baby, then he will go as a baby there. And how is going to be eternally as a baby? And let's say somebody, divorced, and then he got married, and then again divorced, again got married. And now when he goes to heaven, then whose husband, who will be her husband? There are so many fellows, in this world. So there are a lot of problems. That's why some of the churches they say should not get divorced. Because there are theological reasons also. Because in heaven there will be issues then. So basically there's a lot of distorted understanding about one's journey actually, journey of soul actually. So and there is Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, those Brahmanas, those who actually they don't want heavenly enjoyment because they're disgusted. They understand that the pleasure of this material is futile. They know it, But their goal is to merge in impersonal Brahman. That's what they want, right? So those who go higher, those who become detached from these bodily pleasures, so then, but they lack understanding of the soul's eternal position as servant of Krishna. So these people are actually Jnana Kandi Brahmanas, like that. So they will read the Jnana Kanda section, Upasana Kanda section, and they will simply want to merge in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, like that. So, but we see that the Vaishnava understanding is the highest understanding. Vaishnava has the highest understanding. He not only knows I am servant of Krishna, I'm not the body, I am soul, but he also understands the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. So, my constitutional position is to love and serve Krishna. This is the understanding of a Vaishnava Brahmana. The Brahmana who has reached to the highest understanding. So, he becomes Vaishnava, like that. And this verse, what is saying that one should give charity to Karmakanda Brahmana or Jnana Nishtha Brahmana, who is so basically so that eventually one can get liberation. Eventually one can get liberation. That is what is being explained. But Prabhupada clarifies here, Anantyam Ikshata refers to a person who desires to achieve liberation from material bondage and emerge into existence of the Lord. But this is not for a devotee, because devotee does not want to attain that destination. So here Prabhupada is clarifying, for a devotee, one should give charity only to Vaishnavas, pure devotees of the Lord. And he gives the example of Advaita Acharya. He offered a charity to Haridas Thakur. Now, Haridas Thakur was not Brahmana from birth. In fact, he was born in Brahmin family. But Haridas Thakur was attracted to holy name from the very beginning of his life, helplessly attracted, And he was chanting 192 rounds eventually. You can see that. He has such spontaneous attraction to the Lord. When many Qazi and Muslims, they were all trying to say that, what? You are chanting the name of the Lord. Both Hindus and Muslims, both of them were not agreeing with this. Because Hindus are telling, you are Muslim, why are you chanting Hindu name, Krishna's name, holy name? Because it's our God. And Muslims are saying that, you're belonging to Muslim sect and how can you change the party, And they were also upset like that. And that's what said that I'm helplessly chanting. I'm not I'm simply helpless. The holy name is getting sprung from my heart. I can't stop it. So this was Haridas Thakur. And you see that Haridas Thakur, he was so absorbed in chanting the holy name of the Lord that even when prostitute came and eventually Mahadevi came, both of them were helpless. They couldn't do anything. Nirvikar Haridas Ashray Gambhir. Because he has taken very Gambhir Ashray. He has taken very deep shelter of the Lord through chanting the holy name of the Lord. And then he says, Krishna Nama Vishtamana Sada Haridas Aranya Rodite Hule Sri Bhava Prakash. He says that Krishna Nama Vishtamana. His his mind, Krishna Nam Avishta. It has got completely absorbed in the holy name. Because when he was chanting the holy name of the Lord, he was completely absorbed. So because of that, there was no penetration of mind. Krishna Nama Vishtamana Sada Haridas Aranya Rodite Hule Sri Bhava Prakash. Just like if you are in a forest of wilderness, there is nothing there, nobody to help you. So if somebody is crying for help, nobody will come to rescue you, right? Because there is nobody. It's like it's a wide forest, nothing is there. So he says, Aranya Rajita Hile Sri Bhavaprakash. So just like, so this woman, the prostitute, and eventually Mahadevi herself, when she came and trying to allure Haridas Thakur in different ways. But all those attempts were like somebody crying for help in forest and nobody there to rescue. So she couldn't get any kind of attention from Haridas Thakur's mind because Haridas Thakur's mind was completely absorbed in the holy name of the Lord. So Haridas Thakur was a high class Vaishnava, he's an Amacharya, you can see. So he was not in Brahmana, he was not even Hindu. As per the Smarta, they want them to be Hindu first and then take birth in a Brahmin family, but he was never in that kind of category actually. But Haridas Thakur was the best of the Vaishnava. So this is actually our philosophy, Vaishnava philosophy, that it doesn't matter. Krishna himself says in Gita, Chaturvarnya Maya System, Guna Karma, Bhavasha. So as per the Guna and Karma, right? And the Prabhupada is quoting also the verse that, not this one. So whosoever takes shelter of, whosoever utters the holy name of the Lord, even if somebody is born in a dog-eater's family, Chandala family, but he is more than any Brahmana. More than any Brahmana actually. And it is said that if somebody is chanting the holy name of the Lord, it is understood that he has performed all kinds of sacrifices, various sacrifices, rituals, everything in the past. He is above all of them, even though he may be born in a dog-eater family also. So this is the glory of chanting the holy name of the Lord. I mean, this is how, this is a perfection of anyone's life actually, to be able to come to the platform of having faith in the Supreme Lord and engage in chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is a perfection of one's life, right? So there is a nice story also of Subhuti Rai. You know the Subhuti Rai story? So there, Subhuti Rai was a kind of elderly figure, and Nawab Hussain Shah was like his own son kind of, but he was a servant, great servant kind of, and he was just 5 minutes Prabhu, 5 minutes and 9 o'clock. So and after that there is Prashadam also. So he was actually as in when he was a bit naughty, Nawab Hussain Shah, so he kind of pet him, loving out of loving, just to discipline him. And then there was some kind of mark. And when he grew up, so this boy happened to become Nawab Hussain Shah. He became like the emperor, like that. And once the Begum, his wife, saw some mark on his body. Then she asked, "From where you got this?" And I said, "No, this Sukati Rai, he's like my uncle, he's like my father. I was serving in his house in childhood. So he just, out of love, he just, disciplined me, he just packed me. Never mind. He said, no. You have to give him punishment. I said, "Hey." So he now said, "Sure, not ready," because he had gratitude, for him. But because he was attached to his wife, then he said, "Okay." Then he said, "But I cannot kill him." Then he said, "Okay, you can convert him into Muslim. At least do that." I said, "Okay, I can do that." And those days, they were so, society was like that, just by sprinkling water, suppose a Muslim sprinkles water on you, you become Muslim. Like many conversions after that. So, then it was done to him, Sujira. And after he was made Muslim, then he was completely ostracized from the society. Nobody was accepting him. Because now he was Muslim, so now Hindus are not accepting him. And some Brahmanas, he asked, "What is the upaya? What is the solution? What should I do?" He said, "You drink hot ghee, completely hot, melted liquid ghee you eat, completely burning, boiling. You drink that. When you drink it, while you drink it, you will die. And if you die, and when you die like this, the next life you will be born as a Brahmana. And that is only the solution for you." What is this? He was so horrified. What is this solution? And then he was so much, morose. And then he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met him. And he asked Mahaprabhu, "Mahaprabhu, what should I do?" And Mahaprabhu said, "Just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare." So you just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and you are perfect. And that's what he did. Like that. So this we can understand that how this our Western philosophy is, it's actually giving us the highest thing. So there are so many gradations, there are so many varieties of rituals, gradations are there for many people. But actually, when somebody has come to the platform of Bhakti Yoga, somebody has taken shelter of the Vaishnava, actually he doesn't need to perform all this, so many varieties of categories. He doesn't need to get into all that actually. Like that. So, and also after we become a devotee, we should give up this kind of mentality. Because Prabhupada was very upset when he saw that many of his disciples were not being treated properly. Some of them, they are coming from foreign countries, they are not proper Vaishnavas, they are not born in Brahmana family. Prabhupada was so upset. He's saying that Angrezi temples, so they will not even come in, accept invitation. Because, no, your disciples are not Brahmanas. Okay, hell with that. We are going on. Prabhupada was so upset with that. So actually, Prabhupada was not at all happy when they were this kind of. Prabhupada was not happy even in Jagannath Puri. They were not allowing them to go. Saying that, after becoming devotees, after coming to Vaishnava Sangha, to keep this mentality also is not very good. Because sometimes still we carry that mentality. Okay, he's from Brahman family. ये तो ब्राह्मण परिवार में जन्मा है. ये तो इनका देखो इनका तो अलग ही रहेगा भक्ति. What? No, so this is not right actually. So this kind of mentality that he is born from Brahman, he's a Brahmana Vaishnava, he's a Shudra Vaishnava, is very dangerous. We may carry that subtly. We may not speak about it, but subtly we may carry that. Like once in Pune temple, there was some family had come. They were from Brahmin family. So then, so they were invited from Prashadam, the devotees, So they were concerned actually. What people can surveillance, like that. They were concerned about it. So maybe okay because they're just like beginning devotees, the parents of devotees, but their conception is there. But after we become devotees and we are trained in our Vaishnava philosophy, then still to keep that attitude is not very healthy, not very good. We have to know that somebody is taking shelter of one of their spiritual master, if somebody is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then they're Vaishnava. One shouldn't see, that he is born in which family, what he was doing before. It's fine. He is not doing that now. He's not eating meat. He's following all the related principles. He's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So he should be honored. He should be given all respect. So this kind of idea, like one person, he was telling that only Guru should be only from Brahmin family, and he wrote so many letters to GBC that there should be only Brahmana should be Guru, and he was quoting scriptures and everything. And of course it is nonsense because It's very clearly written, you know. I mean, Sanatana Goswami gives example also that how the bell metal and mercury, you know, gives says that by diksha one actually is it turns into gold. So same way by diksha one can actually be if he becomes Vaishnava, he is more than a Brahmin actually. You know. So the point is, what was the last point? Yeah, no, just I wanted to say something. Yeah. So just ask my okay. Anyway, so I was saying that yeah, so one shouldn't see, you know, this kind of that who's come from where. It's not a very healthy attitude. So we should honor all the devotees because they have taken shelter of the Supreme Personality Godhead. Right? So this kind of external situation should not be too much. It should not be analyzed. One should see the essence. The essence is that he's chanting Hare Krishna, he's engaging in devotion, he's taking shelter of the master. Like that. So I'll pause here. If anybody has any comment or question, reflection, we can take a minute or two and then we can pause. Anything, any reflection? Any comment? Any reflection?
Yes, that's the question.
Yeah.
So what is the role of understanding the philosophy, like the jnanic approach that leads us to like Krishna? Basically, the role of philosophy in cultivating devotion.
Yeah, so that is not called jnana kanda. So we are doing bhakti only. So our process is not the cultivation of knowledge the way the jnana nishtha brahmanas do. The jnana nishtha brahmanas they may not take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. They may not have an understanding of personality of God sometimes. Properly. Yeah, it depends, like, you know, there can be different gradations to that also. They may have some understanding, they will be attached to personal brahmajyoti, things like that. But when we are, you know, as devotees, when we are cultivating knowledge, so that is not part of jnana. It's actually bhakti only. So when we are reading Srila Prabhupada books, when we are reading our scriptures, then actually it's a part of devotional service. Bhagavatam Shavan, Bhagavat Shavan, we say, no? So we have like 5 potent form of devotional service. So Nama Sankirtan, Bhagavat Shavan, it's coming in Bhagavat Shavan actually. Because what we are reading, hearing is all Bhagavat. Yeah. So these are Bhakti scriptures, so Bhagavatam like that. So we read in context of devotion only.
So I'm thinking of like devotees' stories where they were illiterate and they were like the topmost devotees, so that they couldn't even read the text. Obviously, if we have the ability, we should,
Okay.
because this is service. But like, how do we understand like whether? I guess it's just a different type of relationship, whether we're chanting or whether we choose to read in that time.
Different devotees may have different taste, but it's absolute Prabhu. Like reading, I mean, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna, in one sense not different, because it's all devotional service. Like Pramjit Radhagovind Maharaj, he reads a lot. There's some devotees who will be chanting more. He reads Bhagavatam. For him, like day and night, he can read Bhagavatam. The mystic also will just read Bhagavatam and keep reading. So they take shelter, because they are all limbs of devotional service. So they can take shelter that way. So on absolute platform, is no different that way, like that. That's all the same. But at the same time, still the glory, chanting the holy name of the Lord is considered to be topmost among all. That's why Santaramada Sarvashesha Nama Sankirtan, Niraprada Nama Villa, Tabe Premadhana, which I can say that. So on the limbs of devotional service, chanting the holy name of the Lord is considered to be the highest. So, yeah, so, but still, they are devotional service. So it's wonderful, no problem. So we at least, we chant at least 16 rounds, that we should do. That's like a mandate, because that's what our acharyas expect from us. I'm sure our expect from us. So we chant 16 rounds minimum. And then depending on one's different inclination and other, his guru, one can check with his guru and then one can engage. Somebody may chant more, rounds. Somebody may chant more, somebody may read more. But it's all part of devotional service and it's equally wonderful. So, yeah. But all devotional service. But under the guidance of a guru, one can see how he goes about it. So wonderful. Like some Maharajas, they have so much preaching. I know Sangashan Das Adhikari Prabhu. He writes mails to so many, So he just signed 16 rounds. And will do so much of service. Like that. And there's some devotees I know, those who are preaching and they're chanting a lot also. There's some devotees like that. Particularly Maharaj chant also many rounds, 40 rounds or something. And they're preaching also. So it depends upon different individuals. Minimum time 16 rounds we do. And then we can engage as per, like checking with our spiritual master, our this kind of condition and like that. In the guidance we can do that. But it's all devotional service for sure. It's not something what is described here as Jnana Nishtha Brahmana. It is not like that. Oh, he's reading a lot, he's a Jnana Nishtha Vaishnava. No, it's not like that. It's not that.
So when Srila Prabhupada uses the word jnana, he's specifically referring to knowledge of impersonalism?
Yes. Here in the, with the translation is coming, it is about impersonalism. Yeah. But Divya Jnana Hridaya Prakashita, that's called Bhakti Jnana. That is not Jnana of that kind.
Okay, so it depends on the other words surrounding jnana.
Yeah, I also in context. Depends on the context also. Okay, we'll pause here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Raghav.